This is Jason J. Lewis, the voice of Superman on Justice League Action.
This is Mark Wade, writer of Superman Birthright.
And you're listening to the Krypton Report.
And you're listening to Krypton Report.
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's the Krypton Report!
The All Things Kryptonian podcast, including Superman and Supergirl.
We discuss games, movies, cartoons, TV shows, and comics.
Find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter.
Hey guys, this holiday season, if you're shopping on Amazon, do us a favor, go to southgatemediagroup.com and you can log in there to your Amazon account. It has helped support Southgate and you get to shop like regular. All right, have happy holidays.
Hey guys, if you're enjoying this podcast, just want to say you should check out some of the other podcasts that Southgate has to offer, especially if you're really into comics like we are. Check out Capes and Lunatics, where sometimes you'll find me when I'm not too busy saving the world. Nuff Said, Super Connectivity. Capes and Lunatics even has the Sidekicks episode as well. Check out those feeds as well as Titans Talk to get all your DC comic needs. Or Marvel. They're there too.
It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superboy!
Hey guys, Tyler here. Just to let you know, the episode coming up is first in a series of what I'm calling fandom episodes, where we interview people who've taken their super fandom to a different level and do different things. My guest, this was his first time Skyping and doing a podcast interview. We had some technical difficulties, and I've tried to work around it. This is part one. We've worked out what to do for part two, and I hope you guys enjoy. Welcome to the Krypton Report. It is I, Tyler, the Superman of Blue, flying solo today. That's right, not with my son, solo, but by myself, which I haven't done in a while. I have a special guest because I've been working here. If you guys remember, about 2 years ago, I had interviewed Dayton's Damsel in Disguise cosplayer, and I'm working on a series of episodes where I deal with more fandom people, like people who are inspired by Superman, Supergirl, or whatever, Wonder Woman, and just kind of talk to them about what is it about these characters, why does they do this in their life for fun or whatever. And today, because I am from Ohio, the land of Superman, and hashtag I tweeted Bendis, because Brian Michael Bendis is from Ohio. Shouldn't Smallville have been in Ohio, not Kansas? But, that's a whole nother story. I have Mid-Ohio Valley Superman with me, Mr. Brad Graham. So, Brad, say hello.
Hello, everyone.
All right. Now, Brad, not only is he Mid-Ohio Valley Superman, his wife is West Virginia Wonder Woman. And that's correct. Just epic, okay? We're just going to say that right now. Epic. Because, my wife, she'll dress up for Halloween. She'll do cool stuff with me. She'll wear the shirts, but I've yet to get her into the cosplaying. So this man, he found the answer, everybody. He found the answer.
It was not without some laughs, though. The first time was a little rough for me.
Yeah.
Because I came down the steps dressed as Superman for a parade, and she was just coming as, handing out the candy, and she just busted up laughing. So that was a little hard on me. But once we went into the parade and all the kids, their faces just lit up. When we got out of the parade, she said, I have to do this.
It's amazing, and I'll say that from the point of view of... I've dabbled in cosplay. I haven't been able yet. I had some money set aside. I was going to buy me a really nice Superman suit. This is new to everyone, the listeners, but my wife's grandmother passed, and we donated some money to the funeral to help for expenses. I thought taking care of grandma was more important than my Superman suit. But I've done some dress up. When my son was first born, there's a comic book store here that does non-Christmas photos with comic characters instead of Santa. So there was Green Arrow, Black Canary, and then I was Batman that year. So it's cool. And there's a lot that I've seen with my kids going to cons where they'll meet people in good costumes and just be excited. So we'll get into that, but let's take it back.
what was your first like exposure to Superman, and why Superman for you?
Oh, well, it probably started out with Dean Cain. I got into those shows and
You're fine. I
really enjoyed.
Let me just right here, because I'll just mute.
We can start that over if you want.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. Because I'll just mute it to find out what he's talking about. So, all right, you ready?
Yeah. Well, it's.
So why Superman? Like, what got you into it? How'd your fandom start?
I started with the Lois and Clark New Adventures of Superman with Dean Cain, and I'm just always
I really liked Lois and Clark. You know, everyone who talks about Superman always talks about how Christopher Reeves was like their jumping point. And for me, yeah, I mean, that was my first like exposure was Chris. But it was like Dean Cain because I was at that perfect age. And right there in your home, Sunday nights, it built that up, you know, because it was new every week. And it's interesting to hear like that, you know, that's where your input was, because you said you graduated in 2000?
Yeah.
Okay, I graduated in 2003, so we're not that far off. You know, at this point in life, we're not that far off. 3 years back, 3 years back then, whole nother world. But now,
oh yeah,
water under the bridge.
Well, Christopher Reeve is obviously the epitome of Superman, but yeah, Dean Cain was kind of where I got into the whole like genre.
I mean, it makes perfect sense. Sometimes I feel like I'm one of the few people that knew the Superboy TV show ever existed, just because I had a memory when I was a child of just seeing like one episode on syndication. I remember no details other than like the name. And then like later on when it came out, like I was like, oh my gosh, I wasn't just making this up. It did exist. So did you watch Dean Cain weekly, or was it just?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I watched I think it was 4 seasons. I watched all 4. It was pretty much religiously.
It was always a battle in our home because I wanted to watch Lois and Clark, and my mom wanted to watch Sequest. Luckily, Sequest got canceled. So that debate ended quickly. But so you're young, you're watching Dean Cain. You know, did you watch the animated series as well when it was airing?
No, didn't get into that. It was just Dean Cain, and then that went into the movie with Christopher Reeve, and it was pretty much set from there.
All right. When did you get your first costume?
It would have been 10 years ago. My dad passed away in November, and then I got one in December. Always wanted one. Wanted like a legit, you know, fitting the spandex and everything, and I found one on eBay, so I picked it up.
Okay. How many suits do you own now? Because I've seen some of your pictures. Look, you got a couple. Got a few different ones.
Yeah. If we're not talking the Smallville era suits, probably 5 or 6.
Okay.
I have to actually
go
through them. Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about. So what we need to do is we need to order you some mannequins, so you can just make like a glass like display, and if you just around your room, just
that'd be awesome. If we had that kind of space and the mannequins, yeah, well, I'm all for it.
Yeah, like I was telling you, like we lucked out with the house that I have because it's a 1-story house, and we're like, oh man, but the basement is massive because like they built onto it and like then divided it and made it into rooms. So like there is so much space with this basement. I'm like, it's like having a second floor. So I lucked out with that. And I just, I'd love to have a giant case of a Superman suit behind me.
It looks like a finished basement too.
Yeah, it is in parts. We won't dig into this is the Cave of Solitude. That's what I call it, the Cave of Solitude, so it's in the basement. But yeah, it's in here is pretty much finished, and then you go that way, and it's not, but it's still like workable space. It's a nice setup. Muff about me. But, okay, so you got your first costume. When was the first time, after you got that costume, you went out in public in it and did anything? Because you mentioned the parade. So what kind of parade?
Well, the parade wasn't the parade was the first time with my wife. Well, my girlfriend at that time, but she's my wife now. The first time that actually I wore it out in public would have probably been the Superman celebration, which was that following June at Metropolis.
I will admit, I've yet to make it to Celebration. I've been to Metropolis. My wife took me for my birthday. We were going to go this year, but then just with her school schedule and work, I couldn't get the time right for us to hit it correctly. So that's kind of like we're going to go this year. We're going to go this year. I hated that I missed.
We made it. Go ahead.
No, I just hate that I missed the 40th anniversary. Or I mean the 80th anniversary / 40th anniversary. 40th for the movie, 80th for the character. Like, I hated I missed that.
Well, we made it this past June, but that was right before her schooling kicked in. So we're going to be missing 2 years now.
It's rough, but it's cool.
Yeah, it's worth it.
It's totally worth it. My co-host James and I thought about going, maybe just him and I, because the kids would have a blast. My wife would have a blast, but at the same time, she'd be like, Tyler, look at this. I'm like, I'm meeting people over here, Jania. Like, these are my people, okay? Be like, where's Daddy? He's over there talking to somebody else, kids. Like, might as well consider Daddy not with us right now.
And you will meet a bunch of people.
And I mean, I've met a lot of them online. And like I said, we went to Metropolis, and it was cool to go not during Celebration, just to kind of get to see the museum and experience the museum and just kind of enjoy the statue and like breeze through without really the hustle and bustle. Having done that now, I can return and enjoy the festivities. Because I do want to take Solomon, because he sees my picture I have of me and my wife in front of the statue, and he's like, I want to go there, Daddy. So I'm like, yes, you do. But, all right, so with your cosplaying and everything, do you do events often? Is it kind of every now and then? Is it something that you're actively pursuing? It's like I've talked to some people who they're always like booking or doing it more like professionally, or is it just more about like a hobby thing for you?
It's more of a hobby. It wasn't anything that I ever set out to try to do, all the time. We've actually got 2 events planned for the end of this year, though.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's just people just contact, wanting to know if we're available. And if we are, we do it. And if we're not, we can't.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
I've met people and talked to people who do this, like I said, for fun, and then people who take it like extremely serious, where they're like, I am Superman. You're like, hold on there, buddy. So what
in the costume, I am. In the uniform, I am Superman. But otherwise, I'm just... Yeah, I always have to correct people. I'm like, well, this is a uniform.
This is my ancestral heritage.
Yeah.
There's... What was it? My wife said something the other day. Oh, what? Hold on. Oh, man. We were listening to a song, and it referenced Superman flying. And I said, and Daddy's flying above. And she's like, you wish. I can't remember. I got all kinds of Superman. I have a whole disc of like all Superman songs, related songs, that plays in the car. So what is the events that you have planned? because I'd love to just
Cool.
let people know about them if we can.
I mean, we do birthday parties, and that's like the only thing that we actually charge for. But other than that, we've got one birthday party, and then we've got what is that, sweetie? That foundation, the child foster. Yeah, it's a foster company, a foster children company.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, and that was one of those things where that's actually a friend of my buddies, like a cousin of my buddies or something that works there, and they're doing a Christmas event with the children and trying to get some people drummed up to go to that. And she's like, "Hey, I know Superman." I'm like, "Okay, yeah."
You're like, I'm so in. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm like,
Yeah, that's the stuff where you're
at
like,
me.
that's where you're like, yeah, I'm in. Like,
But we're actually doing Captain America and Elsa for that one, though,
that's cool.
because they're younger kids, and
They're popular. I mean,
Marvel is huge, yeah.
and Frozen is like dominant.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. Sad, but Captain America is still cool. We'll let you know.
They'll grow into the DC heroes.
Oh, my son, we were upstairs, and he said something to me. He was asking about watching something. He goes, "Yeah, Daddy, because the Lizard is Marvel and Killer Croc is DC." And I'm like, I'm a good parent. He's 4, okay? I just want to throw this out there. My son is 4, and my Harley daughter is 2. So I just want to throw this out there. Like, I was like, son, I'm so proud.
Yeah,
I'm like,
nailed it.
I'm like, he'll say stuff. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, good job, buddy. I'm like, that's my boy. So that's awesome that you do the event like for charity and for children. I think that's really kind of where it is. It's amazing what putting on those costumes are doing that does for kids.
Yeah.
I mentioned like going to cons with my children, and they'll see people in costume and they'll just get so excited. It's a interesting just what you can do, the power that has for the kids. Now, are you a advocate?
Great,
Oh, I see where you're going there. Go.
yeah, with great power comes great responsibility.
It doesn't matter who you
have
are.
to become. Yeah, if you're, being Superman, you can't be stupid.
Yeah.
You have to carry yourself with that responsibility of that child is wanting to emulate you.
You might be their first intro into the character. You don't know. I had a conversation with some friends about, there's no matter what Superman or when, that's going to be somebody's first intro. People want to argue that Chris is the best. Okay, that's fine. But that doesn't mean that's the first one that a child might latch onto. And that might become, no matter who it is, that might be their Superman because that's just where, they latched on. Like I said, Chris was the first one I saw, and I loved it. But there was something awesome about Lois and Clark because, I remember as a kid not being able to, I had Superman the movie and Superman 2, and I think they were taped from TV. But as a child, I could never remember what was what. I always remember them in my brain as one movie. So when I got older, and all of a sudden I found the home video releases of them, and I bought them myself. I was like, oh, wow, okay, these, But I say all that because, it was very special with Dean every week. There he was. And then when Smallville came out, it hit me just right because I was in high school. I was a year older than Clark. So when he was a freshman, I was a sophomore. So, and I always say Smallville was such a huge part of my life because I started Smallville when I was in high school. And Smallville lasted me through college up until the year I got married was the year that the finale aired. So we got married in March, and then the finale aired. So I was like,
you know, Smallville was such a huge impact in my life that became, quote unquote, my Superman. So,
yeah. Oh, I fully agree. Tom Welling, as far as I'm concerned, Smallville was the best show ever. I think I was just starting college when it was airing, and it was like to be there. That was the go-to show.
I mean, it's great, and we could talk about Smallville all day because, you know, honestly, I would. But I'm looking
10
at
seasons of excellence.
Exactly, and anybody, okay, I'm just going to throw this out there, who wants to argue and say, "Hey, that wasn't Superman," please, people. My brother said one day to me, he goes, "Who hasn't he fought? He's not even Superman yet, and he's fought everybody." I'm like, "Hey, you know, it's the show." But yeah, I'm just checking out your Facebook page, and I love, like, just going through here. Like, I love the photo. Like, not a creeper. I promise. I'm just looking at your profile, just because I love seeing, like, the couples together. Like, you know, I'm looking here. We have the picture of you and looks like a more Man of Steel BVS suit, and then there's your wife as a Supergirl, and then there's you, as Smallville, and then her as Supergirl, Kara from Smallville. So it's just, you know, it's really, and then I forgot you said you did, like, there you guys are as X-Men. Like, you know, it's awesome to see you guys like doing this together. You know, too often is it just like one person if there's a relationship or whatever, but it's really just, it's cool to see you guys working together with like a common idea, goal.
Talking about the Smallville photos, I don't know if you've gotten to the Justice League shot, but that photo was like planned 6 years ago, and it just happened this past year at Metro.
Yeah. I mean, that is...
You have to get to that with the Cyborg, Flash, Green Arrow, and Aquaman and me. It's the Smallville, Smallville costumes, but...
Hey, it's just as valid as any other photo.
That was the group shot I've been dreaming of forever. I love the Smallville Justice League. And I love the Absolute Justice episodes.
I love your cosplay of Superboy, which is like my Superboy, and what I refer to as like the depowered Superman is my favorite cosplay, because it's just pretty much me getting dressed for work. Jeans, check. Superman t-shirt, check. All right, I'm in cosplay.
Done.
You're like, woo! Thank you, Superman, just wearing jeans and t-shirt. Or thank you, Superboy, for just gotta throw on the black Superboy shirt, and I am good to go. Yeah, definitely, listeners, check out. I'm gonna have his social media in the comments here of the show notes. But yeah, just check out. There's some just great shots of him and Wonder Woman just doing their thing. Like, it's refreshing to see, like, just joy with, you know, doing this and having fun with it, and not trying to be like, here, buy my photos.
No, we don't do that. I don't think we'd make much money off of that anyway. Now, my wife might, because, you know, for some reason, there's more money in it when girls do it. But
yeah, my wife and I had this whole conversation about, you know, just women who, like, exploit, because dudes will just buy, like, pictures of women dressed up as their stuff. They're like, here, take my money.
Yep.
And you're just kind of like, pff. But yeah, you dress up, it's like, no, nobody wants that photo. But
yeah,
you try. So how long? So just looking back at some of your photos, how long have you been doing it? Like, because I'm seeing some photos here from 2012.
Yeah, I was going to say at least 10 years. 9 years as far as Comic-Cons go.
And I see you got to meet Lionel Luthor himself.
Oh, yeah. That was an epic meeting, actually. Right as soon as we got up there, I asked him, I told him, what I was wanting to do. I wanted to do the eye-to-eye picture profile. And he's just like, oh, yeah, that'd be great. And right as soon as he stands up and gets right in my eyes, he's like, are those your natural eye color? The real blue? I'm like, yeah, that's fine. He's like, oh, that's awesome. He's like, oh, you're very tall, too. And he was just all over it.
So how tall are you?
I'm 6'4".
All right. My man right here. That's the height of Chris. He was 6'4". Yep. I'm 6'3", so I'm tall,
nice.
I'm taller than Tyler Hoechlin, which makes me feel good, I think one day I mapped it. I think he's the shortest Superman. So if I remember right.
How tall is he?
He's like 6 foot, 6'1", if I remember right.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Hey, in this line of work, being Superman, that 1 inch, man, it matters.
Yeah.
Because like one day, so I have a picture with. We've met Jason Momoa twice, and the first year we met him, like he's like towering over us, and my dad's like, "Man, is he that much taller than you?" And then my wife, poking fun at me because she knows how I love my height, is like, "Yeah, he is." I'm like, "No, the dude had like 4 inch thick biker boot soles." Okay, I'm like, so then the next 2 years later, when we got our picture with him, yeah, right there, him and I, same height. I'm like, see, exactly. I'm like, don't take my height from me, okay?
He was cheating.
Exactly. I'm like, don't take my height. All right. So, lightning round of questions. Favorite Superman?
Christopher Reeve.
Favorite Superman movie?
Ooh, I like Man of Steel.
There are no wrong answers. I'm just going to tell you. It's your opinion. There are no wrong answers.
I like the first Christopher Reeve movie. As far as this generation, though, I did like Man of Steel.
If you could have one of Superman's powers, what would it be?
Strength.
If you could be Superman for a day, what would you do?
Just the same thing he'd do. Just fly around, save people.
See, that's what my wife asked me that one time. I said, you know what I would do? I was like, if I was Superman for a day, I was like, I'd probably go clean the ocean. Because I got 1 day, and I'm like, what would make a really good lasting impact? She was like, I never thought about that. I'm like, yeah. Like, I often think about if I was Superman, what I would do. So it's not a hard question to ask.
That'd be really difficult, though, because you hear people hollering for help.
Oh, yeah.
You'd have to kind of break away and then come back.
Oh, yeah. It would be something. I totally forgot what I was going to say. Oh, your favorite moment dressed as Superman in a costume. That's something you've experienced. Be it just a reaction you got or meeting somebody or just like a moment being in a Superman costume and something happening that's just really stuck with you.
There's a lot. There's one thing that we kind of talked before with other people is when we're in the parade, they will always pull us aside for pictures and stuff. So we just kind of motion the parade route to go on through. And this one couple pulled us aside for pictures, and the mom was just like, "Will you hold my baby?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." So she handed over what was, I don't know, like a 3-week-old infant for me to hold so she could get a picture of me holding her child. And it's just something that in the costume, I'm not Brad. People just will automatically hold over an infant to a superhero. I don't think they do that if it was just some random guy walking down the street.
Yeah. I mean, no matter who you are, we kind of touched on this a little bit. I think, my wife and I talked about this. I'm like, it's kind of like, you put on the Superman suit, like you said, you are Superman, and you got to kind of respect that. It's not like it's Halloween night where there's people dressed up everywhere. Like, if you're going out in that suit, like, you carry some weight of that character. And I think, I hold, it's, like, it's like a high level. Like, if you're going to pretend, or dress and, a Superman, you got to kind of personify Superman and that character. So, because like you said, you're not Brad. You are Superman then. But yeah, that's awesome.
I tend to go to the higher moral characters, because Superman and Captain America are two of the ones that I do all the time. And it just it means something to younger ones, because they're looking for that hope in the world. They need that.
You're absolutely
right. We need
that.
that.
We do. I have a good friend, I won't say his name, who he had a rough time with his dad and stepdads, and he clung a lot to Spider-Man comics. Like, that was like his, for lack of a better term, his moral compass and guidance. And I like you, will always kind of aspire to those characters, like Superman. That's why Superman's my favorite. It's not the powers are great, the strength, all that. That's awesome, but it's the character of the person, and that's one reason I think I like Smallville, was because he hadn't developed all of his powers yet. He was still learning, but he was still that great inspirational character that inspired everyone around him. And, like you said, Captain America, Spider-Man's my favorite Marvel character. And, my wife always picks at me and stuff at times, because in everything, my favorite character is always like the Boy Scout, the good guy, except Star Wars. For some reason, Star Wars is the only, series that my favorite character is Darth Vader. / Anakin, that whole thing that encompasses. That's my character. She's like, that's so weird and random of you. I'm like, I know. But, okay, Brad, one quick question. It's a big one. Trunks or no trunks? How do you think Superman should be?
It don't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me.
That is a good answer.
It's about what's inside that counts.
So, Brad, before we go, I'm looking at your car. Tell me about your car.
It's a 2008 Ford Expedition. It's actually a Funkmaster Flex Expedition, which they only made 650 of. They come in that red and black. But I wanted to turn it into something different, so I now call it the Super X. It has the Christopher Reeve shield on the grill, the Dean Cain shield on the hood, the Brandon Routh shield on the roof, and the Henry Cavill shield on the back hatch. And if you pop the hood, you've got the Kingdom Come shield on the underside, and I have the classic shield on the interior.
That is amazing. That totally
24-inch wheels, painted to match. We're kind of a car people.
That is awesome. So if I ever got to buy a new car, I think I would contact you for guidance. It totally beats my Ohio Superman, plates. I got that on the van, but
But we planned on, since I call my vehicle the Super X, my wife drives an Escape, and we're planning on calling it the Wonder-esque and doing it Wonder Woman style.
That is amazing. I'm just going to take this picture of your car and send it to my wife and be like, hey, babe, this is what I want to buy. See what she says. We'll see how well that goes.
They don't make them like that, but
she'll be like, Tyler, no. She'll be like, I love you, but I draw the line somewhere, okay? She wouldn't let me name our daughter Kara or Kara. I tried both ways. She wouldn't let me name Solomon Kal-El. I even tried to get clever and do the Calvin Ellis, and she saw right through that. But Solomon's a great name.
We got a cat. Our first cat we named Kara because it was a girl. And then I just got a cat earlier this year, and it's a boy, so we named it Cal.
Nice.
So we've got Kara Zor-El and Kal-El Graham now.
See, we had a dog, and her name was Ellie, and I just called her Elle.
Nice.
My wife she picked Ellie, and I was like, oh, I'll call her Elle. She didn't even realize what I was doing, but it worked.
Well, there's another memory in costume that I have to mention.
Oh, please.
It was my first birthday that I ever did, and it was this little girl, and went through it. She just hung to my side the entire time. It was at a bowling alley. She really just, anything that she did, she wanted me to see. Well, fast forward like 7 years, and me and my wife, we were engaged at that time, so me and my fiance was walking around this bridal expo. And we went to this table, and this woman looked at me and was like, "You do Superman, don't you?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "You came to my granddaughter's birthday party a long time ago, bowling." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I have to tell you something. We hired a guy that did Spider-Man the next year for her birthday." And she looked at me and she said, "You got me the real Superman last year. This is just some guy in a costume."
Oh, wow.
And that hit me hard.
Wow, that's beautiful.
It stuck with me. That her granddaughter still.
That is a great place to end this. I think we could go on probably forever. But that is a high note, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. I appreciate you chatting. I'd love to be able to another time chat more with you. And I'd love to chat with your wife as well. Just kind of get that bouncing dynamic, I have my little Supergirl and my Superboy over here that need to get to bed soon. But is there any last things you want to say? Any plugs, social media? All that'll be in our notes. But anything you want to just say?
No, I'm always around.
Look up in the sky.